Good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Stuff and Such. Don't mind the extremely messy bench. That's normal around here. So today I'm working on my floor jack. I just dug it out of the snowbank. Need it. It hasn't worked really properly in the past year. I've kind of neglected a bit, unfortunately. It's this model of floor jack. It's a CarQuest one. Weighs about 3 tons. I don't know how heavy it lifts. I know it lifts a lot. I had it on one end of my sea can, like a shipping container, and I was able to lift half of it, so it's at least probably 4 tons. So anyways, the issue with this thing is that sometimes it doesn't lift, and I think it's full of air and water, maybe, because unfortunately I don't have a good quality garage yet, and often gets left out in the water and rain. So when it was cold, it wouldn't really pump at all. There's a bit of a sponge in it. So what I'm going to try and do is try and drain all the fluid out of it and replace it with fluid that hopefully isn't water contaminated. So here we go. Here we have the main fill port. As you can see, it's surrounded by dirt and ice and stuff. So I'm going to give it a bit of a clean off real quick, and then we'll get into bleeding it and seeing what's going on. Quick tip for anyone who works around mechanical stuff and has kids. Baby wipes work really good for cleaning stuff. They nice and disposable. They're dirt cheap. They're not crazy good at cutting grease, but they're not bad either. It's kind of a stupid design, actually. They made the hole recessed, so it's like a pothole and collects all your sand and grit. And that's not good for any seals or anything like that. As soon as you cut a seal inside a cylinder, hydraulic cylinder, it starts to bypass, and overall not good. You can see by the color of that oil, she's got some moisture in it. So I'm going to roll her on its side and let's see what's in it. If there's a bottom plug. So there's no drain on the bottom, unfortunately. But thankfully, when you roll it over on its side, it starts to dump all your oil out. Kind of a crude way to change your oil. I don't see any other better way. You probably can't see it from there, but there's lots of beading in the oil. She's gross. Extremely crude, but life goes on. The reason I'm not doing this outside is because it's minus 25 out right now. And I don't know if you've ever worked in minus 25, but it's no fun. So we got her upside down. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of this lube. Kind of try and help keep them freed up. So one little warning, guys, is you really don't want to keep oily rags around in enclosed space. They can kind of spontaneously combust and burn your house down. Supposedly, I've never seen it happen, but I don't want to either. So around here on the homestead, we don't get too terribly fussy about oils. They do make a jack oil, which is just kind of a light oil, but in my experience of hydraulic cylinders, you can pretty well compress any liquid as long as it has a good corrosion resistance, as long as it has a good resistance to water, and as long as it has a good flowability at a colder rate, it'll be fine in my opinion. Don't take my word for it, do whatever you want, but that's just me. So I'm going to be using 10W30 full synthetic. The reason I'm going full synthetic is so that it does flow and move in the cold, because that's kind of what was going on with mine. Is it had water in the oil, so what would happen is it would kind of freeze, sort of like a coffee ice cap, I think they're called, where you kind of have that slurry. So it can't pump, but it doesn't also really freeze, so it just kind of just is stuck. All right. So it'd be nice to do this neatly. If you're ever hard up for funnels, you can just cut an oil can and you have a nice funnel. So I'm going to see if I have a steady hand here or not. Not too bad. I don't really know how much it holds, but I'd guess about a cup and a half. And you want to go slow. That way it gets the time so that it doesn't burp on you as much. So if you go too fast, then you'll create a seal, and then the air will have to push the fluid back to get it out. Oh. See, it's kind of burping away here. So to kind of bleed it, you back this off so it's releasing. And you want to just pump it so it's cycling through the cylinders, getting the air out of it. So then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put that cap in, and I'm going to try cycling the jack to full height and back down a few times. That was a good time to lube up these joints here. There, that's better. I can hear there's air still gurgling on it. Here we are, we're maxed out. It's supposed to go higher than that. So hopefully some of that air will move back into the main piston and then I can get some more fluid into it. So we'll let her down. All right. Letting out a bunch of air here. So we got a little more in there. Now we're going to go ahead and cycle it once more. Well, we just got rid of a bit of air there. Well, we're about to die on the battery side of things, so you can kind of get the idea. It's just a slow process of replacing the fluid and working the air out of the system. Kind of get air locked in certain spots, so you just keep plugging away. Hopefully with this video you get a little bit of insight on just kind of how floor jack works. And they're fairly straightforward. And you just need to spend a bit of time with them and you'll get it figured out. Anyways, hope this video encouraged you to go ahead and work on your floor jack. I know it was kind of long and wasn't a huge amount of critical details, but hopefully you find some useful information. Anyways, take care guys.